3, ding, ding, throwdown!
Max and Mia have left me this week for Costa Rica, but we have lovely Lydia demo the workout, and her coach Perrin is alongside, and she's here right now.
We did dumbbell walking lunges, strict handstand push-ups, and calorie row.
Hey, can you put in an old clip of Max saying the 1 o'clock thing?
We release these workouts right here on YouTube every Thursday at 1 p.m. again.
Yo, Perrin, you want to ask CW how spicy this workout's going to be?
Yo, Chili Willy, how spicy is this workout going to be?
Well, it's going to be a spicy one!
This week's throwdown is a 13-minute AMRAP of 33 dumbbell walking lunge steps, 33 strict handstand push-ups, and a 33 calorie row.
For movement standards, a warm-up, and scaled versions of the workout, check the description down below.
This week's demo athlete is Lydia Fish. She's an 18-year-old up-and-coming athlete. I'm coached by her, and I also do the workout next door, and you can...
You're coached by her? You coach her?
I coach her.
She coaches you in this workout, though, let's be honest.
She does, yeah. She's competing at Wadapalooza in January, and...
let's see it.
What's your strategy?
Burnout on the handstand push-ups. Just kidding. Big sets on the handstand push-ups, and then lunges, just smooth, steady pace, and then try to push the row a little.
Here we go.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
and there I am.
And a Perrin sighting. This is so exciting to be able to see you, and you're talking over it.
Yeah.
So it starts with a different variation of the lunge. It's a farmer's carry lunge, and I think most people probably won't. They assume it's going to tax their grip, which it does, but it's also taxing on the shoulders.
Oh, for sure. 100%. And this whole workout, I think, well, with Lydia especially, so I coach her, and we were talking about strategy beforehand, and I knew I would be going against her. So there was a little bit of different psychology when I told her what I was going to be doing and what I recommended.
You're trying to beat her?
Well, no, because I know I could not beat her. Like, her fitness level is so much higher than me, but the one movement in here that for a lot of people ended up being a huge factor, I am actually good at.
Yeah.
So as you'll see, I won't give away.
The handstand push-ups.
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't give away what happens.
I would say that for everyone, that is the biggest separator. However, for someone like both of you, so those that are really good at handstand push-ups, and you can see the speed, both Perrin and Lydia are absolutely flying. It's like less than a second per rep, which is unheard of. But there are athletes that can also do this. Then the separator may actually come on the row and how fast that you can move towards that last round.
Completely agree. You can see I'm actually cheating here with my right pinky.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, snap.
But that's Grace's fault. She didn't no-rep me. So I think I opened up with 27 unbroken, which not smart, but
well. So tell us, what would you recommend now that you've done this workout for someone that is good at handstand push-ups? Should they go by feel or should they have a breakup strategy?
So a lot of the conversations I had with athletes, it was kind of like you have a breakup strategy to start with the understanding it is probably going to change as you go through the workout. So I think having definitely something to put you in a good place so that you don't blow up early, which is what happens to me.
Yeah.
Because depending on what you're targeting is 2 to 3 rounds of this, that's almost 100 strict handstand push-ups.
Yeah, and we're speeding it up just so you don't have to see all of the row. One thing I wanted to point out, we'll get back to the strict handstand push-ups because I think for most people, that's what they need to strategize the most. But you'll notice both Perrin and Lydia had their straps loose on the row so that when they got there, they could slide their feet right in and start pulling. I know that seems so silly for most people. They're like, I need to take the rest break, but just get in and start working right away, especially when you're transitioning from one movement to the next. And if you want to be competitive in the open or quarterfinals, those seconds matter.
100%.
You want to mention how y'all were the standard here was you can go wherever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have your mic on? Can they also hear you? Yes. Okay. So everyone heard it. Everyone heard what Chris already said. But yeah, everyone could just kind of go wherever they want because we had a bunch of people and it was 33 steps. That is something to think about though, is how if this came out and you didn't have a standard for how far you could go, how many times would you want to turn around? I mean, it's a pain in the butt to turn around every single time.
It absolutely is. And another thing I was trying to do in the beginning is take shorter steps. But when I got tired, I actually found that taking a longer step felt easier.
Yes, I agree with this. And this is something people should warm up with. But I always try to keep those short, choppy steps when it's 4 reps. However, it blows my quads up way faster. And so then I do the same thing. I think it actually makes sense to maybe do 11 short steps, 11 long steps, 11 short steps, where you're always creating some variance with the style of lunge that you're doing.
Absolutely. All right, so this is Lydia on her second round. And she is able to sustain very, very similar braking structure to her first round, which this is when I was already starting to fall apart. And I think, so her and I did 100 strict handstand push-ups for time against each other, so I kind of knew what her capacity was. We took 2 very different strategies, and she beat me by almost a minute, but her ability to sustain moderate to large sets is way, way higher than mine, versus right when my speed slows down, I know I need to come off the wall.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably normal for most people. Those that are at like the elite level of strict handstand push-ups, they can almost grind through. You can see her reps have slowed, but she's still able to do them. So for those that are really good, grind through it, and that's perfectly fine. You have to know your strategy. But for most of us, it's probably break them into smaller sets, stay on a clock with your rest breaks, but make sure that you're being thoughtful of how long you're resting between sets.
For sure. And her transitions were pretty good. And like you said, get her feet in the rower, don't even bother with the straps, get the flywheel moving so she can get up to speed, because you lose so much time in those first few seconds.
Yeah. Getting to your working pace, I think, matters a lot. In this workout, there aren't as many transitions back to the rower. Most people probably get 2 or 3, but still, that matters if you're going against another elite athlete. Now, we're going to talk about the row in a second, but back to the strict handstand push-ups. This is probably not fair for most people that are watching this, because both of you are just still really good at handstand push-ups. Let's talk about strategy when you guys get to your next round of someone that's not as good. For row pace, Perrin, what did you guys...
different right here. You see?
Her arms are blowing up.
Her arms are blowing up from the lunge. What would you recommend for row pace for the different variations of female athletes? So let's say like intermediate, RX, and elite.
Yeah. So, I think you have to factor in where you're going to be on the handstand push-ups.
Sure.
Because, for instance, I don't know what Allison did, but she knew she was going to break up the handstand push-ups more, so she can be more aggressive on the row. For me, my goal was just to stay above 900, which I failed at. For Lydia, it was stay above 1,000, which I think she did end up dropping off a little bit there, because I think the row actually impacted the handstand push-ups impacted the row more than we thought it was going to. But typically, I would say, I think that row burpee over the rower workout from, I don't even know, 6 weeks ago, she was holding a little bit slower than that, right? I would say typically holding above 1,000 calories in a workout for her is not that hard, but obviously combined in this type of density, it got difficult. It's hard, though, because, as you said, for a female, if the row ends up being 2.5 to 3 minutes of the workout in a 13-minute workout, that's a huge chunk of time, especially if you're not good at handstand push-ups. So I think you have to be able to make up some time there. But the handstand push-ups, I still feel like that was the separator.
For sure, especially on the female side. You're going to notice that the separator is going to be much more important on the handstand push-ups. So right away, I think this is going to be a set of 11. Is that how many she starts with?
Perrin coming through.
Hey, Perrin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that she just did 11 there. I couldn't count because Perrin got in the way. Get out of the way. At any rate, most people on their third round will not be able to do 11 unbroken handstand push-ups. So I would recommend most people starting with the strategy from round 1. Like if you know that, let's say you've done 50 for time and it takes you 6 or 7 minutes and you have 33 in your first round, you need to plan accordingly. How are you going to break them up into threes? Maybe it's 11 sets of 3 and you're going to start on a 10-second rest clock, and then that'll go to another 12-second rest clock and a 14-second. Or another option would be threes for as long as possible on a 10-second rest clock, and then go to twos, and then go to singles to finish your 33. Obviously, the rest times will vary, but those are some different variations you can think about.
I think it also depends, how you do your handstand push-ups and where you feel comfortable resting.
Yes.
So some people's rep speed slows down so much. I'm like, if you're pausing at the top of every rep, you're upside down under tension. It makes more sense to kick down and do smaller sets.
Yeah. Would you recommend then singles from the beginning for someone that's just really competent there?
I think singles are too slow.
Yeah.
I for sure. And I think a lot of the feedback I actually got from people afterwards was, well, I broke up my handstand push-ups a lot. I don't know if I needed to. But I would say for those people, maybe go back to the workout more aggressively and see what happens, because I think you're going to degrade way faster than you think you are. At least that's what happened to me.
Yeah, and Perrin said this earlier, but if you get to where Lydia is now, she has already done 99 walking lunge steps, which is, 300 feet-ish, something like that, which is a lot. She's done 99 strict handstand push-ups, and now she'll do 99 cals of rowing, and I assume that she's going to get off here. So it just adds up. The volume adds up so quickly, especially when you're really good at these things. So even if you're a high-level athlete at these movements, you need to be thoughtful of how you can finish at the end of a workout like this. Now, she's looking at the clock. She knows it's 11 minutes and 20 seconds in. She's going to have time to be able to get to the lunge. Do you go slower on the row to go faster in the lunge? Do you just kick and red line here? Those are all things that you need to think about as a high-level athlete.
Yeah. So Jordan, another one of my clients in a different heat, not in this video, that was kind of like the approach that she took, because where she was in the workout to end was super smart. So went a little bit conservative on the lunges because she had enough time to get to the wall and did 10 strict handstand push-ups unbroken to stop.
Yeah.
I think if she would have pushed the lunge, she wouldn't have been able to do that because she would have lost time breaking. Exactly. But in this scenario here, Lydia, I think she knows she's going to finish. She's going to get on the lunges. I was trying to get her to push.
She changes her grip again.
Yeah, her arms were blown up bad. I was trying to get her to push because she's young, and I just kind of want to see what happens. Like, I think your head can get in your way sometimes, and this was an opportunity to just like, hey, if the wheels fall off, the wheels are going to fall off, but you're not going to die. So I'm struggling in the background here. I think I look over and I was like trying to give her some encouragement.
I need to take a rest break,
Yeah.
so I'll yell at her.
Yeah, and really trying to get her to pull through the finish, which I think that's probably one thing I would tell her to work on there. Like, I know you want to slow down, but she probably wasted 2 seconds just kind of finishing with her arms there versus one more hard stroke with her legs.
So she had 25-ish seconds getting off, and I think that this is the time where you'd want to do the small steps. Try to get as many as you can in because it's all about reps. But again, the standard is make sure that you extend all the way up top. She's doing a good job of that. But when you're doing this workout, make sure you do the same thing.
How was it?
So good.
All right. How'd it go?
My biceps got blown up. I went out with big sets on the handstand push-ups and then I fell off, but I could keep going. I didn't fail, so it's good. Yeah.
How'd Perrin do?
She did well. I think she took too big of a bite in the beginning. She thought she went out too hard, and then I was like, you're not gonna hold it. So I showed her. That was mean.
She's not wrong.
That was her way of talking trash, but it was so gentle.
And then she came up to me. She's like, I kind of talked trash on you. I'm sorry. I was like, no.
She said you went out too hot.
I know. I might have done it on purpose.
Yeah? How'd it go?
It was really hard because I just tried to go full send the first round, and as expected, I couldn't sustain it, but I knew that was going to happen. I wanted to go out hot to see if she would change her strategy and try to chase me, which I feel like maybe she did a little bit, but I think she still broke it up as she was planning, so it was good for her. I do wonder if she slowed down the first round, if she could have gotten deeper into that second workout, because the row slowed a lot and she broke up her lunges, but I know, it was fun.
Yeah.
Let's give you some tips to help you with Throwdown 168, and first, let's start with targets. For our elite athletes, we expect you to be at 264 reps or past that. That takes you into the third round of strict handstand push-ups or getting onto the row, or like Lydia, going into the walking lunges. For our RX athletes, we expect you to be at 231 reps, which would be in the third round, but before your strict handstand push-ups. And obviously, for RX athletes, this is going to vary widely based on how good your handstand push-ups are. Now, for intermediate, we have some asterisks there. That's because the workout is different. Instead of handstand push-ups, you will be doing dumbbell push press. We expect you to be able to get into that third round of dumbbell push press and complete it. Now, let's give you some quick tips on the movements. You'll notice that the walking lunge, one of the benefits that you can have is varying your length of the lunge step. Lydia did this really well, and so did Perrin. They started with a short, choppy step, but they were standing all the way up because they had to meet that standard, but then they also lengthened it out. One alternative would be 11 short steps, 11 long steps, 11 short steps, so that you're always varying the nature of the lunge. Then minimize turnarounds. We have no standard for how far you can go. Turning around and having to hold onto the dumbbells just wastes time. I would say if you can do 33 steps all in one long length or just one turnaround, that's going to help you in the workout. For strict handstand push-ups, have a braking strategy before you start the workout. Now, for someone like Lydia, when you watch her, she's elite at handstand push-ups, so she can do big sets and crush it and even slow down, but still be able to get right back on the wall. For most of us, we need to have a small set, short rest strategy from the beginning that allows us to keep chipping away at those 33 handstand push-ups each round, and then stay on a rest clock. This is a benefit of having a judge or a friend there to help you to make sure that your rest breaks don't get too long, but still allow you to get up and do a couple reps every single set. And then on the row, Pacing this is going to be based on your strict handstand push-up ability. If you're someone that knows that you're going to take a long time on the handstand push-ups, you may be better off pushing the row and trying to get through that as quickly as possible, as long as you're an efficient rower. You don't want to pull with your arms and then get more blood flow to your shoulders where you can't do the next round of handstand push-ups. So make sure that you're efficient before you try to go fast here. But if you're someone like Lydia that's really good at handstand push-ups, you can actually back off a little bit where you're still at a hard pace, but something that allows you to move directly from the row into fast walking lunges so that you can get back to your handstand push-ups and crush another round.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.